Good morning, world. Everyone out there watching my stupid videos. I'm up, and it's 7:40, and I got home about 8 last night and ate dinner and cleaned up for like 10 minutes and started uploading the videos and passed out in bed with the laptop running and all that other bullshit laying around. And so yeah, I haven't moved. I don't want to move, and I have to pee. Early morning pees hurt. I gotta go. And I don't want to move because I rode so hard last night. I know today is gonna be rough. I can feel it. Plus I got a lot of sun yesterday, like my face. I didn't realize why my face was hurting. Like, I was thinking it was dry and shit. It's because of the sun. You can see it, I'm a little red. So, it's probably a good thing since I'm heading down south. I gotta get used to the sun again. I actually get really dark in the sun. Like, really, really dark. Polish people, for some reason, Polish people, like, they can tan really well. I've noticed it. I can, so. I don't know what I'm gonna do for today, man. I don't know. I gotta get stuff done today. I'm probably gonna, to be honest with you, I think I'm gonna be around the house all day. One, I got a lot to do here still. I still got so much to organize and clean up and, start moving and stuff. And, two, I'm sore. I can't ride today. I can ride, like, to go somewhere if I gotta go somewhere, but I can't ride, I can't go do tricks or anything like that today. If I go anywhere, it's to get money, food, a margarita. That'd be it. There's one other person I could mention, but I don't really want to speak about that person just yet. It hurts a lot. Which is the other reason why I kind of moved out into this area. I'll talk about it a little bit, I guess, since, it's in my head. I mentioned it, but my daughter, I haven't seen her in a long time. Since she was like 3. And, her mom, I know what church they went to, and my daughter's mother's parents adopted her, and, they're Christians, And they told me what, my daughter's mother was gonna do when I was in, my daughter's life. So, I haven't seen her in this long, and, I can't find her mom's Facebook. I can't find her, and, I've been meaning to go over by the grandparents. I just, I haven't had time yet, the resources, the funds, and all that other stuff. But, the reason why I moved to the hood is because right down the street is where her grandparents, last time I seen my daughter, Ashlyn, I was driving, and I looked to the right. I looked to the right, and sure as shit, I see my daughter and her mother and two other girls, like a little bit older than my daughter, and some guy. I was like kind of like baldish on top of his head right here. It's funny. I roll in, like, it's funny because I was in my Jetta and I fucking flew into the parking lot and ripped up on the e-brake, like sideways, and hopped out the car and ran up, like started walking up, I was like running up to her, my daughter and Ashlyn, and Ashlyn seen me, man, and she said, "Daddy," she started doing a little, she started like putting her hands up, doing this, like, come, come here, come get me. And her mom seen me and snatched her up and ran into the church, and which is crazy, man. I've never hurt her. I've never touched my daughter. I've never done anything wrong to any woman, ever. It's not my MO, man. And I've never been accused of it either, so but she snatched my daughter and went into the church, and then this dude fucking was sitting there like hot boxing a cigarette, man, like 'cause he knew I was about to fuck him up, man. He knew it, dude. He knew I was about to fuck him up, man. He didn't even say anything, and you could tell he was a little bit older, like me, like in his late, like, cause this, I was in my early 20s, I was like 21, 22, 23, I was getting in, man, like, for real, and, this dude was, like, in his, like, late 30s, maybe early 40s, so she was dating older guys, and I already knew this, because, like, when I met her, she was, like a goody two-shoe cut type deal girl, from what I knew, but that's, she worked at a horse stable, and, she was young then, too, she would just come over on the weekends, man, and a couple times during the week, we started dating. We met on the internet on Plenty of Fish. And, she's pretty, man, beautiful. And, I loved Ashlyn's mother, man. I had feelings for her. And she didn't have feelings for me, obviously, because she told me she was pregnant by me or another guy. And I've never cheated on a woman. And I understand that maybe she had sex with somebody before me, you know what I mean? And that was, why she said that, but she didn't say another guy, she said some other guy. And I was like, whoa. I was like, some other guy? And, of course, she, got, like, weird, defensive about it, because what she said and how I, responded. And then she was like, so what, you don't want me to have the kid? And I didn't even get to respond, bro. Like, I told her, like, yeah, I want you to have the kid, pretty much, and fucking, she just started going off the motherfucking rocker, bro. And then hung up. Well, I lost my phone. And I ended up going to jail for the first time, and, I got out, and I went home, couldn't find my phone. Somebody took it, and I went by her apartment, and it's funny because the blinds were open, and it was completely empty. The apartment was empty. She moved out the week that I was locked up, and when I came home, she was gone, and I couldn't remember her phone number, man. And I never been to her parents' house yet. So the only thing I knew of her was her. Well, she told me briefly, like a month maybe, not even. We were seeing each other about a month. And yeah. So stupid too. If you go watch my testimony, you see what I talk about a little bit. But yeah, so I bought the house over here because it's right next to the church, and I like to go over there um, on the weekends. And the donut place is where my daughter's grandparents met. Um, that's where they met at, and they went to that church right there in the corner, and they met at the donut shop and got married. And they've been together forever, you know, and their marriage, they've been together for like 40 some years. That's a long time to be married. It is to be with somebody, you know, and they adopted her and her brother, and they're twins, you know. So yeah, which I'll be talking about this stuff more. Why she acted the way she did, and all the time that I have and everything that I know, why I don't press the issue right this minute, and why I haven't pressed the issue, my reasons for it, why I haven't fought for Ashlyn, which I do fight for Ashlyn. I pray for her every day. I have stuff for her, but I'll be talking about that in another video when I'm ready for it. So I really want to sleep in. I do. I'm really thinking about staying in bed till 9 o'clock. And I couldn't sleep last night. It was just tough, man. Couldn't get comfortable either. I'm like naked right now, dude. I had to take off my shirt and fucking boxers. And then I got a scab like on my fucking tailbone from those I like to do those, like, bang my bottom of my spine instead of, like, on the door jamb or, like, in the door wall, in the doorway, or, like, on the floor. Because, like, when I do it on the floor in the house, everything shakes, you know what I mean? And I'm not outside doing it on hard ground, so, with clothes on, you know what I mean? Because it hurts. That shit hurts. And you gotta do it like fucking 1,500 times, dude, for it to even do anything. You know, for you to feel it in your bone, you know, to get put in place and to move that fluid around. You gotta really bang the fuck out of your tailbone, man. You do. And, another reason why I take those long showers is because when I stretch, which I'll be making videos on all this stuff, but I'm talking about it, you know, so people are aware of it. They can be expecting to see these videos, you know, and maybe get prepared, you know, and look into the stuff I'm talking about, so that when I do these videos, you know, if they have any interest, you know, they can, you know, you all can, you know, do it, and ask me questions, and, you know, I'm sure there's going to be things people have found useful for them that I haven't found yet, you know, and, because, you know, I've been on this journey for only 3 years now, and, you know, some people have been practicing yoga their whole life, so, you know, and the yoga really helps with my physical, strength and my flexibility, and it helps with my health, and it helps with my breathing. There's so many things that it helps with, man. And it's crazy because I worked out a lot, and I've always been an active person, and even before I got locked up, and you know, and when I went to prison, it's funny how people got all these ideas of, you know, you're too skinny, you need to bulk up, or, you know, you don't look good, you know, you look like a crackhead. And, you know, all these weird ass stupid things. Like, first of all, I don't look like a crackhead. Second of all, I'm just skinny, bro. Many people are skinny. There's people in Africa are skinny. What are you talking about? And they have food everywhere. They have food. All those villages, they can eat as much as they want. They have more food than we do. Think about it. And they're all skinny, you know, they're not overweight, you know, and they run around with the family, they're active. The same with Middle Eastern people. If you look at Middle Eastern culture, they don't have diabetes. None of them. None of them have diabetes. Unless they come over here in America and start fucking sucking down all the sugar. That's what it is. That's what causes it. That's why another reason I work out so much, because I know I have a sugar addiction, you know? That's another thing I've been struggling with, is I've been trying to cut the sugar out. And that's hard because receptors hit the same. So I said receptors. Sugar hits the same receptors, that they bind to the same receptors as opiates do. And I had an opiate problem, so I have a candy problem. That's why, another reason why my teeth are a little messed up too. I've been thinking about getting my teeth fixed. That shit ain't cheap. I got most of them fixed. I mean, all of them fixed, and I got the ones that was like, they're not. In the back, I had 2 of them that were fucked up. They were just done. They had to be taken out. It's too painful, man. I was locked up, and they only pull teeth there, man. They really do, unless you're there for more than 2 years. And then after you're there for more than 2 years, you know, they'll do fillings and stuff, but mostly they only do cleaning. They give you a cleaning. You had to be there for 2 years before they even give you a teeth cleaning. So I only had a year left, and the two teeth anyways, you know, they were gone. I already had root canals done on them, and I didn't pay to get the crown done. So they did the root canal and then filled it in. And then I just said, fuck it, I left it at that. I couldn't afford it, man. That shit was expensive back then, man. I couldn't afford it. And I didn't have my dad's insurance anymore. I had dual coverage when I was younger. I had HAP insurance. And back then I couldn't afford it. And that's another thing too. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video, but I'm pretty sure, I swear on everything, that the dentist, man, that my dad used to take us to, my stepmom, would drill out my teeth, man, for no reason. Like, I swear to God, man, I put this on God, man. And I kind of wish I would have said something when I was little, because I never said anything. And now that I'm older and think about it, I really think that this is what I think, this is what I believe, man. And this is kind of messed up thinking about it. So every time we went to the dentist, you know how I mentioned I had double coverage? The doctors, man, they like to make you, they get paid by the insurance, you know, that's how they get paid a lot. And they get paid a lot of money. A lot of it. And every time my dad or my stepmom took us when we were young to the dentist's office, man, you know, my stepsisters would be with us, and we all ate the same stuff, you know, and had the same habits for the most part, you know, and my teeth would always, like, I would always have more cavities than the girls. And, you know, maybe I did have more cavities, but I was always frustrated, because, like, why they don't have cavities, why do I have cavities, you know? And, you know, I was conscious of it for the most part. I tried to brush my teeth as much as I could when I was young, you know, when I, you know, thought about it. And, but he was always drilling, like, it was always this one guy, it was always the main guy, always drilling in my mouth, man. And now that I think about it, I had double coverage, man, and it was always the teeth in the back. He never did the front teeth. I never had cavities in the front teeth, he said. He said I'd always have cavities in the back. And I remember him picking, you know what I mean, and stuff, and, like, you know, I'm trying to remember, like, if all that stuff, but I can't. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like he, like, drilled my teeth farther or more than he should have to get money. I really do. Because they don't even, there is one other reason why I say this, like, I talk to my Polish family, and they talk about my teeth, I was, like, talking about getting them fixed, my chipped tooth right here. I want to get that fixed. I have some in my tooth, actually. But, I want to get this tooth fixed, I don't like it. And, I want to get it fixed. And, I mentioned it to my Polish family because those are the only ones I really see still. And I'm not even talking to them. I mentioned in the video how my Uncle Chris, that's Polish, that speaks Arabic as well. I don't have this car right now because he felt some type of way and didn't want to help me out and give his money to an Arabic person. That's simply what it came down to, and that's why I still don't have a car. I would have had a Toyota Camry 5-speed for only $1,900, and there was no rust on it. None. There was no rust on it, like surface rust that I could have, sprayed. I could have, sanded it down real quick, sprayed it, and it would have been good. There was no Bondo in the quarter panels in the back. And the only thing that needed to be done, he literally just hit something. And it messed up the bumper and the light. And, I popped the hood. I made sure, I looked. I checked the frame and everything. Everything, the radiator core support wasn't pushed in or bent or anything. And, you could tell that the person, put money into it. The person that owned it, whoever owned it, or how many people owned it, all the people that had it, you could tell that they took care of it. And I know why they took care of it. It was a Toyota Camry, and it was a 5-speed. It ran. Those things run forever, and it was a 4-door, and it had less than 200,000 miles on it. That thing would go another 200,000 miles on it. It would. I checked the oil. It had no leaks, which is hard to find for a car that old. A car that old that burns oil that doesn't leak. That's awesome. Every car burns oil. There's not one motor that doesn't burn oil. It's not possible. It's called physics. It's how the engine works. But especially older motors, they're broken in. You know what I mean? They got sludge in them. That's why the oil, the sludge builds up. That's why the oils, you got to add to it a little bit. People don't think, man. But yeah, and I drove the car, man, and it was nice, All I needed was some struts all the way around. He just got done putting brakes. I had brand new tires all the way around. I had brakes on the front. I probably had to put some pads in the back eventually. And I needed lights and a bumper and some TLC, and it was clean. It wasn't dirty inside. It didn't have, there was no kids back there throwing their food and candy everywhere, like most of the cars you see that are, $2,000 and less, Let alone finding a 5-speed that actually stuck, that had a clutch still, and, you didn't smell it, or it didn't have no throwout problem, like the throwout bearing was still good, It didn't have no problems going, from first to fifth or reverse, let alone reverse. A lot of front-wheel drive cars, when you put them in reverse, they like to pop out because people put them in reverse and go too fast. Though a lot of those cars, they have a kick-out mechanism, so if you go too fast in reverse, the gear is really tall. It's not good for the engine. So it'll kick it out, and people will hold it in gear. They'll put it in reverse and then hold the shifter in place, and then they'll rev the piss out of the in reverse. They'll go in reverse and try to drive fast in reverse, or they'll do reverse donuts. That's how I know too. I fried a couple transmissions in my Jetta doing reverse donuts, doing that dumb shit. Holding holding it in reverse. Um, and the person too, like you could tell, like they didn't keep their hand on the shifter and ride it. You know what I mean? So that's why the pilot bearing was still good. The shifting fork. There was no pressure on it. The person shifted, took their hand off of it, and continued. Only put their hand on the shifter when they needed to shift, and that's how you're supposed to properly drive, because you should have both hands on the steering wheel most of the time. That's true. It's facts. I know, because I've drifted. I've driven many places, man. I have a lot of experience. Listen, man, not too many people have driven from Indianapolis, Indiana, okay, with a Geo Metro on the back of the truck, doing 190 average with a twin turbo EcoBoost truck with no tickets. Didn't get caught, no tickets, didn't put anybody in danger. That trailer, it's funny because it says only rated for 50, and I would not have done it. I would not have done 90, 100 at all, ever even attempted it, if it wasn't one, that Geo Metro on the back. There was nothing on the back of it, and it was a tow dolly, and 2 is front wheel drive, and 3 is I didn't lock the steering wheel. A lot of people lock the steering wheel in those. Don't do it. Leave the key in the ignition. Leave the key in the ignition. Put the car in neutral. Leave the key forward so the steering can move. You don't have to lock it. Don't lock it. Because you're going to be putting straps around the tires anyways. And you're going to be cranking down on them. Having the steering wheel unlocked isn't going to keep it secured down to the trailer better. It's not. So the reason why I say most people lock them, and the reason why I say don't, is because those tow dollies, the car is going like this, it's getting dragged in the back, and you want it to have a little play. You do. You want it to have a little room to play. Because you don't want that strap getting stressed out. Like, you don't want so much pressure on that strap to where when it starts, the car starts moving around, it's so tight that the pressure just pops it, and just breaks it, snaps it. That's why you want it firm, nice and tight, but you don't want it fucking like tensile tight. You want it just just firm, firm grip on it, and make sure you crank down on it. And yeah, that's why I did 92, because the car, the front wheels could slightly turn with the car, with the trailer, I mean. And it made all the difference. It really did. Because I've towed cars before, and it made a huge difference. Dude, I got home fast, man. I left the house the day before that morning. I had $500 in my pocket. Listen, I had $500 in my pocket. They wanted $1,000. They wanted $1,200 for this car. I told them I had $1,000. And I did it. I didn't have $1,000. And they were like, come on, come, I went straight to my uncle's house, bro. I don't know why I asked him. So God just told me to ask him. I just went. And I was like, and my dad was with me. I was like, because I had to use the truck, and I helped him get that truck, and so my dad's already irritated with me because one, I'm dragging him down to Indiana, and I don't have the money for this car. And he doesn't want to go because I don't have the money, and he doesn't think I can get the money. And it's funny because I told him I'll have the money, and he's like, "No, you won't. Like $700. How are you gonna make $700 today?" Because I needed $1,200. I needed gas. I needed money for the trailer in case it broke down. I needed food. I was hungry, and I wanted weed before I left. So I needed about another $700. And I walked right out, literally just drove right to my grandma's house. And I could have got a loan too. That's what my dad didn't understand. I could have got a loan. I was gonna go to CheckSmart and get a loan. Those quick loans. I could have got a loan for $600. And I would have had just enough money to get down there, $50 in gas. I was gonna, ride on my dad for some gas money, and then, I'd have $50 for some weed, to smoke, to make it there and back, and have money. I wasn't gonna try to spend $1,000 anyways. I was trying to wheel and deal with him. But I got down there and pretty quick, and of course, he wouldn't budge on 1,000. And I know why. It's a '94 Geo Metro, man. They're rare. You don't see them anymore. They all got scrapped in my area. If you're in like northern part of United States, you're not gonna see them, and you just don't see them anymore. In the '90s, you did. It's funny because in the '90s, it's funny, man. People would steal those cars, man, and go all the way out to California, bro. Serious. You could, people would buy those cars too. They wouldn't just steal them. They would buy them for cheap because, people sold them for cheap. You could buy those cars in the '90s for like $500. I'm serious. People back then they weren't like people. People are shit today, man. People weren't like that back then, like they are today. But you could get one of those for like $500 back then, man. And you could put fucking, $500 was actually worth like 1,000 then. But the car was newer then too, and they're worth a lot of money actually back then. They're nice cars back then. They could get you they ran forever. Everybody knew that. And they didn't use any gas. They got 50 miles to the gallon. If you had a 5-speed Geo Metro, it wasn't an automatic, you knew you could get 50 to 55 miles a gallon. They knew this. People knew this. And people would, like college students, man, they would always, I'm telling you, man, I couldn't tell you how many people I know and would see this, and it was just what people did. They would all the friends would chip in money, get this car, and they would pile in this car, and they would ride to California. They would ride out west. I'm serious. Everyone that I know that ever left this area from the '90s, man, that I knew that didn't have much money, that's what they drove in, and they drove the Geo Metro. They left in that. And I'm serious. Anybody that watches this video that is older will tell you the same thing. They know. That's why all those old weird guys have those cars, and the weird techie guys and stuff. Because they're cheap on gas. That's why I bought it. I'm putting a Honda motor in it, by the way. I'm going to be doing putting a CRZ, Honda CRZ drivetrain in it, which I plan on doing the battery. I wanna take everything from the CRZ for the most part and swap it over to the Geo Metro. I'm not sure about the dash, the steering wheel, and all that. The seats, interior, that type of stuff. But drivetrain wise, the motor, the drivetrain, and even the electrical motor. I'm thinking about doing it with this one because the Geo Metro, first of all, has a trans tunnel. You can make them all-wheel drive. They came all-wheel drive in Japan, only in Japan. And in Canada, they're called the Pontiac Firefly. And they came turbocharged and front-wheel drive there. You could get So I thought you could only get the turbocharged one in Canada, um, which you can only get like you can't get the turbocharged one in America, but in Canada you can get the non-turbo and the turbo in Canada. So, and it's called the Pontiac Firefly, and it's got a different bumper, and it's got like a little hood scoop, and it's got a different front bumper, and I like it. Um, I would really love, I would absolutely love to get the Maserati kit. Not Maserati, Maserati, which is the Indian from India, the Suzuki Swift Geo Metro was sold in India. They did a partnership through India Motors, and the Indians took those cars and changed them, and made them more different, and the body kit on them is sick. I like it. It's sick, bro. They're cool as fuck. They're cool as fuck looking, and they got a couple of them, and I don't know, they got like some rally versions too, and I would love to get a kit. I would love to get a kit from one of those cars, and so I'm hoping in my travels, because it's hard to find this stuff on the internet, man, and and to talk to people in the other world, in other countries and stuff is very difficult. It's not. I can get on eBay, and do all those things and stuff, but I want it, but that's not my concern right this minute, I want to get sailing and stuff. And I got to get the car down to Florida. And I plan on buying another one. I'm going to have two of them. And I got to get a Mini Cooper for Margarita. Her dream is to own an old school Mini Cooper. Not a new one, an old one. And I've been looking for them. I found one. I was thinking about going to look at it. But there's no reason to. Because one, they want 30 grand for it. Two, I don't have 30 grand just to throw at a car right this minute. I do, but I would just have the car. And then I wouldn't be able to do YouTube. I wouldn't be able to travel. I wouldn't be able to get my boat. People are relying on me, People on the internet and Facebook and stuff, they've been following me for almost a half a year now, these people, they've been making music for a while, years, and, they've went out of their way to, make music because of what I wrote, and, because of Jesus, and, I want to meet these people, man. I haven't met these people in person, and I'm excited to meet them, man, all these artists, music artists, because first I make music, two, their music has saved me, man. Their music has got me through a lot of dark times, man, and still do, when I go through stuff, like, right now I'm about to get up and go play some music, on my stereo. So when I have it for sale, I really don't want to sell it. And I mentioned in another video too how everything I have left for sale is everything that is like dear to my heart. Like everything I have left, I kind of want to keep. I'm serious. 'Cause all I have is my furniture, my computer stuff, my clothes, my truck, the other truck that the motor's still in, the Chevy HD 2500 02. I have that, and I have the Geo Metro, and my bikes and stuff, and tools. That's about it. That's all I really own now. I don't even own the house anymore, so, or rent it or anything. I don't rent anything. I don't. I gotta get out of this house soon. I have to be out of this house soon, so, the contract, my dad signed a contract for 3 years, and, I'm kind of glad I didn't sign it. And there's a reason why I didn't sign it. Because I kind of knew this was going to happen. I felt it, my dad wouldn't even, had the money that he has, and, had the money that he had, and, was able to get the truck that I helped him get, you know, if it wasn't for me. Because of my older brother. You know, my dad helped him out, and he's such a fucking slime ball piece of shit. You know, he rode my dad and for all these years, and couldn't get his life together at work. And his wife got tired of it and moved out and left him. And so instead of him, like, you know, like fixing the situation, busting his ass off, getting to work, and, you know, fixing up the house, you know, and getting his wife to come back, he just wallowed in it and fucking let the house get all fucked up, and, you know what I mean, and he fucked it up living there with his wife anyways in the first place, and then you know, let it go back to the bank. Was about to let it go back to the bank, and I'm like, what the fuck? I got into a fight with my dad several times, like, what are you doing? You're being stupid. The houses right now are going for a lot of money, more than what you paid for this house. You're gonna make about 40 grand, Dad. And he wouldn't do it because Chris was still in the house, my brother. And Chris had my dad under the impression that, you know, he was gonna have the wife come back and you know, the kids and all that, but wasn't doing anything about it. And my dad would sit there and, you know, Chris said, you know, his wife's coming back, blah, 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 you know, he needs this and this and this. And the whole time I'm like, dude, like, bro, you're gonna lose out on all that money. Chris is gonna fuck that house up, and then you're gonna be fucked. So I just kept on drilling it in his head, man. I just kept on drilling it in his head. And I'll be making videos about talking about putting stuff in people's heads. You have to, but you gotta do it a certain way. I learned that over the years, man. I'm telling you. I'll teach you guys. This is why. Oh, maybe I won't. I don't know. I gotta see it. I don't want to teach the wrong person. I don't want to teach the wrong person the right thing for them to do bad things, you know? That's the problem. But, yeah, dude, so my dad ended up selling the house. And gave my brother 10 G's. What did my brother go do? Didn't do nothing with it. The first thing he did, buy fucking big ass rims for his truck. Why, bro? Like, it's a work truck, first of all. Second of all, you don't need 26-inch rims on your truck. You're not, first of all, Chris, you're not hood. Second of all, I'm more hood than you. Way more hood than you, bro. Everybody in the hood will tell you that. I can ride through the hood. I'm half black. I talk like them, I act like them, I walk like them, I am them. I've been in prison for three times. Who do you think raised me? Huh. Like, who do you think I know half this stuff from? Who do you think I hung out with most of the time in prison? Black people. Why? Because most of the white people that were in there were drug addicts. We're fucking stupid. We're fucking strung out in there. You know? And I'm talking about strung out. I'm not talking about like dibbling dabbling. I'm talking about like straight blown, strung out. They got meth in there. They got heroin in there. Depends on the prison actually, but they all had meth. All of them. Everyone had meth. And very few had heroin. The ones that had real dope were closer to the cities. And then all of them had Suboxone. Every single one of them had Suboxone. That's not hard to do. That's easy to do. Which you guys will hear all that stuff too, you know. That's another thing, like, I'm gonna be pushing for prison reform, man. There's so much stuff that you guys will hear, and that I'll be speaking about that you guys are gonna be like, what? like, it ain't gonna surprise you guys, because, you know, with the internet these days and everything, you know, and the way people are, it's really not surprising. Um, but you'll be surprised when I tell you how people um, acted towards me, or acted, you know, or the way they behaved in the situation. You know, just the dumb shit, you know, and a lot of Tunchi goes around prison, so they smoke a lot of paper, because it's hard to get concentrates and weed in jail, in prison, because it smells. Um, it's easier to get wax in prison, shatter, than it is to get flour. Which actually I prefer in prison, the wax, because it's easier to smoke. It's easier to light. Um, in a prison setting, first of all, you don't have lighters. And it's hard to find one. If you do find one, it's worth a lot. So if you do find one, you don't even want it. You end up selling it, because you can get $20 for it real quick. You know what I mean? Why will... If I get a lighter, which I have, right? I have a lighter. Right? I have a lighter. I'm in prison. I'm not supposed to have this lighter, first of all. Second of all, people want this. It's $20. I'm not coming off this thing less than $20 in commissary. Or drugs. Or you can send money to my people. You can cash out money to my people. You can go on the phone, call your people, and have them send the money order to my people. You can have them meet up with my people and pick up a bag. And, you know, meet with your people. And your people meet up with your people that work with those people, and those other people with those people in that prison. And then it trickles around. It goes from one group to the other group to this group. You know, and they all know who has what, you know, and they all politic, and which I'll talk about all that stuff, you know. Because I know all that stuff, you know. I know how the drug game works, you know. I've been in it. Thankfully, I made it out. So, and I'm happy. I'm happy because the money I did make from it, I spent it all on women and getting fucked up at the casino and the cars. So, I was able to enjoy it, and it was not taken from me. So that's always a good thing. But I gotta pee really bad. It's almost an hour, 48 minutes. I've been holding my pee for this